Hello, this is Doishi here with another cheeky little Doomsday League video. Today I am joined by the illustrious Revenantkioku, aka Erik. Erik, thank you very much for joining me. How are you?
Uh, got a little bit of glass on my foot, but that's because I love my precious little angel kitty cat. So, life goes on. I've been better. I've been worse.
Yeah. So
Thanks for having
Erik
me.
is big streamer. He does a lot of streaming, a lot of Doomsday content, and a few other things. Some other formats, a bit of modern, a bit of pioneer, a lot of vintage. He also is the sort of main content creator and administrator for Oracles of the Coast, which is a nice little website around pretty much anything that Thassa's Oracle can go in, right?
That is basically the idea. Yep.
Yeah. So today we're going to do the normal thing. So we'll have a quick little chat about sort of Doomsday Decklist in general, and then we'll jump in and have a watch of a league that I've pre-recorded back when the All Access token was live again. So let's jump in and chat lists. So before you is the normal list that I've run. This is the same as the last couple of videos I've done with leagues in. Not counting that, cheeky little Yorion pile. And it's pretty much my normal go-to. So blue-black main, little splash of red on the side, 3 personal tutors, 4 cyclers on a 3-1 split, Daze is in there, Discard is in there, Pact is in there, Cavern is in there. So, Erik, I know that you are sort of not necessarily one to be tied down to any particular list. You're a lot more flexible in terms of the sort of style of decks you play, and you've tried quite a lot of the different thought processes or sort of schools of thought around building Doomsday. Is there any sort of preferences that you found that you have, or sort of ones that you find do much better against certain parts of the meta than others?
Yeah, your deck offends me. It makes me sad. Just seeing 4 Dazes and 3 Straight Wraiths and just 1 Edge of Autumn, not 2. No, not only 1 Oracle on the main. Oh my God, I'm about to faint. My delicate senses can barely take this. No, I'm mostly on the very turbo-y turbo. I love your Zero Respect title, but I'm doing the stuff like playing the 3 copies of Cabal Ritual, 4 Personal Tutors, no Dazes whatsoever, or maybe 1 Daze sneaks in once in a while if I'm feeling it, and even the Misdirection just to get more counter spells, just to get Doomsday resolved as quickly as possible, because I don't like playing Magic. No, I love playing Magic, but I hate the longer the game goes on, the more anxious I get. So I just like resolving and finishing the game as soon as possible.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's my plan. Just done.
So the deck style you're talking about is sort of something that has started to become a bit more popular, which is you basically just aim to resolve Doomsday on turn 1 or turn 2 as quickly as possible. Like the previous Turbo list was sort of like that, but this is kind of even more all in. So generally, right, the characteristics you'll find are it runs 4 Force of Will plus 1 to 2 Misdirection as extra forces. It doesn't tend to run Daze. It does max out on the sources of triple black, so it will run Cabal Rituals alongside Dark Ritual. The Lotus Petal count tends to go down to about 3 to enable this and facilitate this, and it tends to run a basic Swamp as part of its mana base, with Cavern of the Souls sometimes being relegated to the side. It also sometimes comes a little bit pre-boarded against certain matchups, namely Delver, so sometimes you'll find the Ideas Unbound also in the sideboard as well, and maybe 2 Oracles in the main.
Yep.
Yeah. So is it what about? So obviously you've talked about sort of the speed aspect. Are there any other parts of that particular list you like? So obviously, do you run any splash colors at all?
None at all at the moment. Sometimes I do have the red splash on the side, but that's playing the volcanic in the side, and actually you do that as well, right? Yeah. But yeah, the volcanic on the side for the red cards, depending on how blue, Delver it's going to be, and yeah, it's basically like that, or just the straight up blue black, and just a whole bunch of extra counter spells on the side, just trying to get those Doomsdays resolved. And the one thing I really like is the double Oracle. I've basically become addicted to it because that's how we do it in Vintage.
Yeah.
And just having the ability to pitch an Oracle to force or misdirection, or just being able to set up double Oracle piles for when things go wrong, because they often do. just being able to get around endurance or other nonsense by having that extra oracle is something I really like in game one, because Legacy is at such a weird situation right now that you have no idea what your opponents will be playing game one, because there's Pyroblast going on in game one now, so just having those extra oracles just seem worth it to me.
Yeah, there's Pyroblast going around. Urza Saga has created this weird toolbox package that some decks then, adding in, I forget what it's called, but it does basically the endurance effect on a 0 mana artifact that lands players were playing quite a bit of. So yeah, it can be a little bit wild out there. And I have to admit, I do bring in the second Oracle in a lot of matchups, so there is a definite logic to maybe I should just throw it into the main.
Wait, were you talking about Phyrexian Furnace just now?
It might have been, yeah.
Is that actually, is that even not in... I'm sorry. Is that even not in Magic Online? Oh, I can't find it. Maybe I'm spelling it wrong. I can't spell Furnace. Phyrexian Furnace is, oh my god. Sorry, you can cut this part out of it.
Nope, we're going all the way. Okay, so...
Oh, that's great. I can't spell Furnace. Alright, there we go. Furnace. There we go. Phyrexian Furnace is a 1-drop from Weatherlight that says exile the bottom... Oh, never mind. No, I'm sorry. That's exile cards from graveyard. Never mind.
No, okay, it's a slightly different one.
Yeah.
But we'll find that. We'll find that later.
What shuffles back in? Anyway, yeah.
But yeah, do you have any more comments then on sort of, this particular list in front of you, or lists that you like to play, or actually do you have an opinion on the what's colloquially known as the tempo Doomsday list, so the ones with a creature plan are sort of like a 50-50 split to the main?
Yeah, I just don't want to buy Murktide Regents, so that's why I don't play it. That's basically... I respect it, and I think it's an interesting angle of attack, but yeah, I just don't... I think that's just... I don't know. I don't want to 100%. Like, I feel like that's... Wow, I'm stumbling here. Delver. It's all Delver's fault, basically.
Yes,
that's the reason why. That's the reason why those decks exist. So I figure... I think, yeah, if you want to play Doomsday right now and have a better Delver matchup, then yeah, that deck's the way to do it. But other than that, no, it doesn't really. It doesn't. I don't think that deck. I think that deck will have its time and place, but I think until something drastically makes Doomsday unplayable, the classic style is where I want to be.
Yeah, and for me, I just think that if you're weakening, I think a lot of times I've seen where people do like a transformational list, so they'll start off with like Doomsday as the main plan and then sideboard into an alternate package, sometimes a creature package or something. My main problem I see with those lists is people don't trust in plan A enough. They will switch to plan B way more often than I think they need to. And I think where you then put a deck where you're not sure what plan A is or what plan B is, because it could be, interlinked or synonymous, that it just gets a bit too clunky, and I hate combat maths. I'm too small brained for that, so that's
if I wanted to do math, I'd be playing like a math game.
Right, we'll get into round one. First opening hand on the play. What's your thoughts?
I mean, if there's ever been a keep in Magic the Gathering, this is not one of them.
But those straight rates could be anything. They could be a land plus a Dark Ritual, and that's a turn one kill with Days Back.
This is why I love Magic Online, because I cannot look at the cards that that were on the top of my deck. Because I've gotten out of the habit of doing that, but I just love watching my opponents mulligan and look at the top. Never look at the top. You don't want to look at the top.
Okay, so you'd ship this back then?
Oh god, I'm shipping this back. If we had a land, I might be dirty tempted to do it, but yeah. No.
Yeah, if we had one other mana source already, it's kind of tempting. Because then we just need one more and we can, wait a bit. But yeah.
With the days and on the play, oh my god, yeah. The more I think about it, put that away before I start tempting myself to do bad things.
Okay, so we've gone down to 6. What do you think about this as a 6?
This is a good 6.
Yeah.
I'm keeping this. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what we do. Throw away the cabin. So, if you've watched my videos before, you should know exactly what my turn 1 play is going to be. But Eric, what would you do sort of on turn 1?
So I'm a chicken boy, and I would probably just search up basic island and ponder off of that. But oh god damn, no respect at all. No respect.
We're not here to respect. We're here to find Doomsday.
No respect whatsoever.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much, if I've got Personal Tutor as my turn 1 play, I'm almost always casting that. That's the first thing.
I think we're looking at a Thalia deck here. Or Elves? Elves? It's Elves. Nobody likes this.
And I mean, the opponent is even advertising it in his little profile picture on the left there. So now we're just after, the final sort of mana sources.
Wow, we even drew Doomsday. That's amazing. How did that happen?
Yeah. So here we've got a choice. We can either try and shuffle to find the Dark Ritual, or we can grab the mana and just elect to go off turn 3 and have sort of Force of Will available. I can't remember why I do that as my choice, to be quite honest. I think I figure this daze might just do enough, or, at worst, we can brainstorm off the petal to get the force, which isn't great, but...
Don't recall ever seeing that one. That is a older era Magic card, I guess we could say.
Yeah, Visionary, really strong card.
They would not print that these days, that art.
Yeah, and there's some temptation here to daze the symbiote, but...
There's no value in that. They're not playing Memory Track right now. Well, they could be.
Well, it's more to sort of stop them kind of getting more of an engine going on.
Right.
And once Symbiote is active, they then have a mana for days off Dryad Arbor for any endurances that they have.
Mm-hmm. Heritage Druid doesn't mean a thing. No.
Yeah, and we know we've got Force of Will on top, so we've got the debate as to whether we want to, try and fetch to get the Dark Ritual or another mana source to try and go for the turn 1 kill with the brain. Not turn 1 kill, the same turn kill with the Brainstorm.
Turn kill, yeah.
But I elect to play it a bit more conservatively.
I think with Force back up, yeah, we're just gonna chill. What's the worst they can do?
Well, the worst that they can do is always going to be Shepherd plus Endurance in game 1.
We'll just count the... Oh, wait. We'll just count... Jeez.
It gets a little bit awkward with the fact that we obviously had a Petal as our third mana source, because here what we'd love to be able to do is if we had 3 lands in play, we could untap, cast Ideas Unbound, and play another land and just throw Oracle down and have a load of Cyclers in hand. And that way, if they do have the Endurance, even with the sort of Allosaurus Shepherd, then we have 2 cards in the graveyard, which is Doomsday, Ideas Unbound. Those get shuffled down. We can then cycle a Street Wraith into another Street Wraith, cycle Street Wraith into another Street Wraith, and then still have 2 cards left and Oracle with Devotion 2.
Unfortunately, we just have to go like this. But yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, they'd have to find the thing because they wouldn't be playing. They would have jammed it out sooner. I think you play. Oh my God, I'm blanking. What the hell? You just said it. The green thing. Green can't be countered. Stupid expensive elf.
Allosaurus Shepherd.
There you go. The Allosaurus Shepherd. I think you jammed that before Heritage Druid, so...
True. But with the Visionary in hand, plus the Heritage Druid, plus the Symbiote, they've got the potential to draw quite a few cards next turn.
They do, but, we have to do what we can do, and, so yeah, just gonna untap Ideas Unbound, right?
Possibly. I think I was debating whether to sort of try and do anything fancy, but given that we're sort of facing down elves can get quite quickly out of hand in terms of just like their natural board presence, irrespective of natural order, irrespective of, you know, an active shepherd. They can just beat you to death with 1/1s.
Yep, and we're going down Half-Life, so... Which lots of people seem to forget. Like, I've had many times in chat where, like, people are like, oh, you just cast Doomsday and pass the turn, you're fine. I'm like, I'm going to 4. I'm not at 8 anymore. Like, it is unfortunate that MO, like, doesn't do the life loss. I mean, I know that's how the card works, but if MO just did the life loss first, that'd be nicer to, you know, not even have you forget yourself.
Yeah.
Obviously I paid half my life. I'm at 18 now, right? Yeah, sure. Started at 36. That's how Doomsday works. So yeah, but
and it's especially prominent an issue when you're at the low life totals anyway. So if you're casting Doomsday while at 6 life, you look at it and you're just like, oh yeah, I've halved my life, and then you go to 3 and you're like, oh, these 2 streak rates, they're a little bit awkward.
Bad call.
So opponent starts, you know, spinning some wheels, seeing what they can find.
They don't made a land up yet. They're probably going to bounce the... Play another elf? Ooh,
yeah, and they have the cradle, so this is where it gets a little bit spicy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are they just hoofing?
Hoof?
Am I just getting naturally hoofed?
Up.
And then they change their mind, and...
Huh. I can't cast this endurance if I have... Oof. Wait, what? Oh, okay, more creatures. More mana. Alright, 2 cards in hand, right? Yeah, bouncing the thing. Well, you're not getting more mana out of that.
Yeah, but...
I'm getting a card, okay. I bet they have 2 more cradles in hand. Or more visionaries.
And this is one of the reasons I find Elves to be a fascinating deck that, despite being, you know, inherently a combo deck, is not one I don't think I could play, because these inherent small synergies, I can never get them into my mind of, you know, this engine between all the different sort of cards.
It's a fun little deck to watch people play, like putting the wirewoods upside down to show that they've been used for turn, just little things like that Elves players, you know, have to develop. And we do it ourselves as Doomsday, but with less permanence in play, we have less little unique quirks especially in our paper play.
Yeah.
That Elves players get to do. I respect decks like that. Natural order. I mean, 1 card in here. Yeah.
So here I probably should have kept the brainstorm. In all honesty, this daze is doing nothing, so I think that's probably a big mistake.
Then again, they could have had Veil of Summer. Probably not, but you never, you know. Oh, they didn't even dare to attack you.
Yeah, which is why this daze is basically dead now, because they can endurance me and keep the mana open.
Oh yes. Or they can.
So this is something that I think this was the first time encountering it in the wild for me.
Well, then,
when Boseiju had been spoiled, I had actually said about this exact scenario being a reason that we need to be cognizant of it. And yeah, it makes it awkward, but not impossible. Because we had put the basic island in the deck. However, we have now shuffled the deck.
It's okay.
But I'm a firm believer in never being unlucky. And they don't have the endurance. So
nope. Hey, look at that. I will first, let's see, 4 Pyroblast, Hormout's Crypt. Yeah, I think. Plus 3. I don't hate Flusterstorm against Elves, but maybe that's from my Ant days.
Yeah. I'm not sure why I'm not taking out Cavern here. I think... Oh, go on past me. There we go. Good lad.
That makes sense to me. Actually, I would probably trim Dazes in this matchup for Flusters. Just because, even on like turn 2 against, especially on the draw, turn 2 against Elves, like maybe you can get him with Daze if you're like desperate. But like, gosh, they get so much mana so much. I don't like that. It's one of the reasons I don't like Daze. Because we saw how much work it did last game too.
Yeah.
Not saying that I'm perfectly right or anything, but you know. This is the light because I misunderstood you. I thought we were rewatching a league, not doing a live league.
We're not doing a live league.
Wait, what?
This is a recording.
You're shitting me.
I'm not.
What?
That's why I can pause it at whim.
Holy shit.
So, 7 cards. What are you thinking? I like it. It casts Doomsday on turn 1. In fact, it wins the game on turn 1.
Can do that as well. Yeah, I like it.
So there's 2 choices here with this hand, I think. Choice 1 is you try and win the game. Choice 2 is you personal tutor for a Thoughtseize, and then you try and win the game on turn 2 with the double Dark Ritual.
Thoughtseize nonsense, yep. But now you have Pact, so Jesus Christ, you just go. You just go for it. And you especially double Dark Ritual so that you can protect yourself from Daze.
Yeah, and actually, I definitely misplay here because I should have cast that second Dark Ritual there. What happened was I was rushing slightly, and I, for some reason, had it in my head I needed that as one of my cards to replace with Brainstorm. But actually, the personal tutor is the personal tutor / Pact are plenty, and
That's
so what we could have done is snuck a Thoughtseize into the pile to pave the way for any shenanigans that the Elves player might have, namely an Endurance.
Yeah, no, that pile makes sense to me.
Yeah, so what we're building here is we're building the very kind of basic bitch Brainstorm pile. So the one that just gets to 0 cards with a Brainstorm in hand, no problem. Now, what we should be doing, in fact, is probably building an incomplete Brainstorm pile, because we're aware that the player could have an Endurance, and the normal Brainstorm pile gives a window of opportunity for them to successfully cast that with us not having packed up.
Right.
So what we should do is think about doing something like getting down to Petal Oracle and still having Pact available the entire time, and then, you know, the opponent's not going to have removal open. It's only going to be Endurance or double Endurance that we need to worry about.
Exactly. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Lots of rethinking about this setup, but yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, so I do the most straightforward. I think I probably get a little railroaded on this once I kind of gone through it. And one of the key things here is this pause. So at the point where your Elves opponent doesn't just suddenly F6, it's very likely that they have interaction.
Yeah, that's always a concern. Especially when they didn't turn 1 Thoughtseize. It's like, oh, okay. You dared to put out a creature turn 1 against me, so... You tapped out against me, so we're not going to avail of Summer. You didn't Thoughtseize me. You said, I have a creature in play. I want a 1/2 against my potential turn 1 winning deck. So yeah, that's always scary.
Okay. So that might be cause for me to maybe just put the brakes on a little bit and think about not continuing with the line. But as we all know, I play maybe a little too disrespectfully here.
Zero respect.
So there's two opportunities for them to successfully cast Endurance. The first one is that Street Wraith cycle, and the second one is this Ideas Unbound. Because as soon as Ideas resolves, we have Pact open.
Yep. And all this waiting is... scary. The heart rate is going up.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd be intrigued to know what sort of the opponent is thinking. Like, because here, there's a lot of cards in our graveyard. There's no cards in our hand. So, what could they be thinking that wouldn't make them immediately cast it if they had it?
Right.
They do have it.
Okay. That's never fun. Ooh, there's a lot of cards going into your deck.
Yep. So this does get a little bit awkward now. Now, in theory, we haven't lost yet. We have, but we haven't. Because we still have a Ritual Doomsday available in our deck currently.
But you didn't Ritual twice.
Ooh. Exactly. So, we do have the ability to cast Doomsday again, put Thassa's Oracle into our deck, and just build our Ideas Unbound pile. Assuming we don't die in the process.
You only have to, you only have to go down to half of 7. That's a lot of life.
I mean, there's the Doomsday mana.
All we have to do is draw.
But we are dead, because that would take us to 3, and they have 3 power on board.
That's just sad. I cry.
But that's fine. So, a couple of mistakes there, so we lose a game. But it's all good.
Yeah, as painful as they are, learning moments are nice to have, so you can learn, but God, they hurt. They make me so sad. I don't like being sad. I should be happy about learning, but feelings. Magic the Gathering is a game of feelings. People don't realize it. It's a game for you, I guess. If you're not passionate about your losses and your wins, I don't know why you're playing the game.
So, here we go. Game 3, another 7. What are your thoughts on this one?
Damn, this is one of those I feel so dirty, but like...
It casts Doomsday on turn 1.
Cast Doomsday on turn 1, you can cycle into a Brainstorm, Castable Island. I mean, gosh, I would almost keep this, because like, your Pact you have, right? You can just like, God, this is one of those Hands of Legend where like you keep it and you win and you feel so good, or you keep it and you lose.
I mean, this is a snap keep to me. This is a snap keep, and we jam.
You kept it, all right. I mean, my heart just thinks about all the things that could go wrong, but yeah, no, this is definitely I think it's a keep.
And you can definitely see that I'm a little bit wary to just do what I did last time, in terms of, go for that same turn Brainstorm kill.
Yeah, no, this makes a lot more sense. This is slightly more respectful. Gonna change something? Changing.
I think I was debating whether how much to play around Besage You.
Right. guess that makes sense, but
because we've already got Street Wraith Brainstorm up, so we're already 2 cards deep into our pile. So
right.
having been able to play a land this turn, what we can do is quite easily get to 2 cards left in deck and cast an Oracle on turn 2.
Yeah, with days and pack backup. So
Yeah.
that's not the worst choice in the world. Anything in the Thoughtseize here? Yeah, they are. Whew. Yeah, honestly, I would put back. Yeah, like that. Oracle, just draw 'em. You're good.
Yeah, so long as they don't have, again, like 2 more endurances and pitch cards in hand, we should be good to just throw down an Oracle.
Yep. And if they do, well, they paid money to put those cards in their deck. I'm happy they get a chance to use them once in a while. My poor Thassa's Oracle is not worth that much money. It's not worth an endurance, so how dare I win with such a poor person's card?
Yep, and the opponent gives the GG.
Beautiful! I love starting out a league or a tournament against Elves. Because it's interesting enough, but I'm confident enough that I'm going to win that, it doesn't ruin my day. Starting off against Delver, it's just like, ugh, gosh, what am I playing this game for?
So Elves is an interesting deck now, I find. It used to be, completely a free win. And then the addition of Shepherd and Endurance together has made it... It's still favourable, but they make you work for it.
Yeah.
So we're into match 2. On the draw. What do you think about this?
So it's already a multi-5. I ship it back.
Yep. In fact, it's pretty much a multi-4, right? Because you've got Oracle, LED, Cavern.
All right, you only play 1 Oracle, so yeah, that's even worse. See, that's what I'm saying.
And fun thing here, I think I completely ignored the fact that Yorion got revealed to me.
Oof.
So, what do you think about the 6 then?
I mean, this does a lot of what we want to be doing with the deck. Had you noticed Yorion, I would definitely be like, all right, throw an Underground Sea back on the bottom and start off with some pondering and brainstorming. But because they do play. Well, I don't know. Gosh, the Yorion pile is also goofy right now, but there's a chance of getting wastelanded. But it's very, very low. Unless... Actually, that's another thing. Actually, this is MO, so it's probably Death and Taxes. I didn't even think about that. Japan is so much... Yorion decks are... there are the occasional Death and Tax players, but, so many of them are just, 4-color piles. And
Yeah,
that's,
Strifo pile type things.
Yeah, my instinct would have been, 4-color, actually seeing the... yeah, but it could very well be Death and Taxes, so, yeah... Being on the play being on the play would have probably screwed me over. I probably would have just, walked right into a wasteland.
So for me, I'm the opposite. If I see, because in the UK, Yorion basically means Death and Taxes every time.
Right. Now Japan loves their control decks, and they're like, "Wait, I can play more cards in the control deck. Let me do it, please."
So opponent has turn 2 Talia, so I basically force it because I want to cast turn 2 Doomsday. And it's going to be a little tricky because our opponent does have Rift Import and Wastelands in their deck. They've got various tools that can constrain your mana, so you pretty much always want to make sure that you can keep blue up in some form. That's the main concern against Death and Taxes, not being able to have blue. The second main concern is that they just Stoneforge Mystic Caldra you to death. But hopefully this Daze that we've got in hand helps mitigate that somewhat.
like an ego deck, you made sure it's 20% spells and 80% lands. Very good. Excellent deck building.
Yeah. So this is a pretty normal pile against D&T where, like, I probably shouldn't have put two of the same fetch in, especially when I spent the time to actually do a 2-2-2-2 split across all my fetches. But hey ho.
You know, you're just in a Scalding Tarn kind of mood. Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, so this spirit suddenly makes this brainstorm look real awkward.
Sure does.
And it's also got 3 power, but we're not too concerned about that. The problem will come from if they get another creature down with the ability to attack in time, because we will, in theory, have to fetch twice.
Yeah. It's scary right here. I would be sweating.
Yeah. So, in theory, assuming they can't gut shot us, we've won this at 1 life.
Oh, beautiful. I'd love to see it. And step fetching. I guess it doesn't really matter, but because they didn't show Wasteland. What you gonna do? Show me Swords to Plowshares. Let me end the game at 2. Oh, they forfeit. I didn't put the trigger on the stack. How disrespectful.
So against D&T, we always bring in Massacre Chain, and we most of the time bring in the Forces because Deafening Silence is a pain in the arse.
Sure is. Yeah, you take out this cavern. That's interesting to me.
Well, the only thing that punishes that is if they're playing Chalice.
I just don't like. I don't like even. I guess it also helps because I play the Cabal Rituals, so Cavern of Souls can pay colorless for that. I don't like going down lands against Death and Taxes just because even if you get into one of those weird situations where you throw it in an early cavern and they wasteland it, and you're like, all right, well, you didn't wasteland my mana source. So I've been Wasteland has done bad things to me since 1990 whatever year it came out. So I've been very scared of that card. Isn't it interesting that like Wasteland is when did Tempest come out? Like 97, I want to say. And like it feels like such a newer card compared to Strip Mine, even though it's like barely any. They're both ridiculously old cards, but like Wasteland being in Legacy just makes it feel so much newer. I mean, maybe it's just me, but you know, Tempest is a new set to me since I started with Ice Age. Yeah.
So we've got this 7 here that we're presented with on the draw. Now, actually watching this back, I would be tempted to snap keep this.
I'm surprised you didn't keep this. I like this a lot. It has the ability to stop the dumb shit that Death and Taxes can do. It you can just throw out the Lotus Petal. Do they play the New March? I'm not even sure if they do. But like you can lay out Lotus Petal, lay out Polluted Delta. Don't have to worry about them wastelanding your mana source, and you're just a mana source away from drawing something the Doomsday and having a cycler already in hand, and of course the glorious namesake of the deck. And you know, give or take your Force of Will, that you draw another blue card, they don't feel like playing, you have another backup. I really like this hand, I guess, especially against Death and Taxes, just because, not that I want to play it slow, but this has like you know, things I'm going to do every single turn for at least the first 2 turns.
Yeah.
And you know, it makes me feel better about my life. But you didn't keep this one. That's interesting.
Yeah. So actually, normally I would keep that, but I don't know why I didn't. So we keep the 6. It's respectable enough. I think I was more focused on just getting a guaranteed turn 1 Doomsday.
Right.
Especially in the face of like a deafening silence, but we get the next best thing, which is turn 1 Doomsday at home.
I love a metal turn 1 Doomsday.
So there's a debate here of whether to try and cast this Doomsday turn 1 by cycling Straight Wraith and going Ritual Doomsday off Petal. So that's what I'm deciding whether to do or not.
Wait, are they putting Membrane Trap in it? Good.
They're playing Surgical.
Damn.
Yeah, so we go, okay, I guess we're delayed a little bit, so we'll take the free shuffle off of the Surgical for the Brainstorm. Put back probably Oracle Tutor.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd rather them Surgical there than at the other point. It's awkward, but I've had worse situations with Surgical Extraction on my...
But what we need to do here is keep mind of that Surgical, because them having Surgical in the deck does become relevant later.
Ooh. Foreshadowing. That's delightful.
Spoiler alert. Yeah. So this was a card that I kept seeing in leagues, which I found interesting. Field of Ruin.
Vintage staple. Actually, not really, but actually kind of. There's one player that actually plays it, and I've been got by them so many times. It's so frustrating. It's just like, no, why are you playing this card?
So, opponent drops Spirit of the Labyrinth, which is a pain in the ass because it's probably the one card that stops us winning this turn.
Yes, it sure is.
So we have to kind of think about, how we want to play around it, whether we want to play around it or not. Now, what I probably should have done here is put Massacre on top. But I kind of forgot it was in my deck.
Yeah, I can see that. Massacre on top. Yeah, Massacre on top does pretty good stuff for you.
So put Massacre on top. Have the basic island in the deck somewhere. If they Field of Ruin you, then you can respond with Edge of Autumn on their turn to get the Massacre, because Spirit of the Labyrinth will allow you to draw that one card.
Sure does. Not like that silly ass Old Breacher. Okay. Gosh, imagine if Death and Taxes dropped all the bad white cards and played good blue cards instead. Wow, what a deck that would be. It is a scary 3-1. So big.
Yeah. And
Stoneforge Mystic.
Stoneforge is in fact the scariest card they could have.
Yep.
Because Caldra is the way that they kill you.
Are they gonna surgically you again here? Whoa.
No. So yeah. So if I had done this properly, that would have been Massacre to our hands, and then we'd have the second card as probably Ideas Unbound.
Are they gonna swords you? Oh dang.
Yeah, and this is unfortunate because with Caldra, despite the fact we do have the second Oracle ready to go,
You just did those.
then
Snap.
yeah, we just died to Caldra because it has haste.
Sure does. What a silly card.
So we don't change
But
anything.
you run it back.
So
Yeah,
just run it back. Looks like opponent does the same. Now it's interesting that they leave the swords in. I'm intrigued as to what they take out. Because, I mean, there's a lot of cards in their deck.
Yeah, I can see keeping, not substance, not subtlety. Solitude. Solitude, yes. Swords? Huh.
Yeah, I mean, it might be that they're playing Prismatic Ending as well. So Ending comes out. No, so we get a couple of interesting / not so great hands, and then this one. So at 5, this is probably a snap keep. And all we need to do is just rip the land, right? 2 cards, just rip the land.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
Exactly. So swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
Oof.
It's fine. It's fine. So long as they don't lead on Deafening Silence, we're okay.
Come on, Deafening Silence. Here comes the Deafening Silence. Oh no.
We get a free pass there.
Swords to Plowshares.
And a land as well. So we jam. And what's nice here is the Oracle in our hand actually gives us a lot of flexibility. Now then, I'm gonna wait for past me to just kind of build the pile, and then I want you to tell me what could be improved in it.
Let's see, you got. Oh, you split up your. Oh, are you gonna split your lands this time? Oh, you did. Let's see. So. Wasteland Surgical on Underground Sea. Hoo-wee.
Yep,
that's what I'm smelling.
That may be exactly what's cooking. So we do have Water Grave in our deck, which in this scenario is perfectly fine to go in because we're aiming to cast an Oracle on turn 2 and another Oracle on turn 3. So we're not too concerned about getting our deck to 0 cards here. And
Water Grave has its uses.
Yep. And you'll notice that I do, in fact, notice this mistake pretty much immediately after building the pile, I think. Having remembered about Surgical from Game 2.
Granted, I'd probably walk into the same thing because it's just so easy to just want to respect your life total and the things that they can do.
There we go. That's me highlighting Underground Sea, highlighting Water Grave.
Oh no! Wait, I didn't, did I? I mean, they could theoretically do it, but they're not going to do it, are they? No, they're just gonna. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, this point. Oh, okay. I thought it was actually going to happen. You scared me there, friend. Because once you get the fetch line out, you're safe.
But we're not. We're not though, because they've got the port.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
And there it is.
Oofa doofa. You're right.
Yep.
That's right, they didn't tap out, so... Ooh, yeah. Surgical Extraction is better than people think it is. I mean, that's an odd sentence. People play Surgical Extraction too much and too little.
Yes, I would definitely agree on that first statement. I've seen a lot of Surgicals brought in without anyone really thinking about why or how they're to be used.
There's a whole thing. Like, I fear Surgical. I fear this exact scenario in Vintage a lot, especially against Workshops decks where I need every single land play possible. And the fact that now they know your deck as well, so they just know, and it's just
yeah. So there's gonna be no bluffing here. This was me just hoping that they make a mistake. But
exactly. But most shops players go for Archive Trap instead, which is fine. But Archive Trap has to be held at the right time, whereas Surgical on Underground Sea can just screw me off real quick early in the game, and then there's no coming back from that. And yeah, of course you can, do your traps on turn one, but I think it's a tough call. But I think surgical is actually more powerful than some people think. I think it has the problem of like so many people play surgical badly that people, get in the mindset that I don't want to be dumb, so I'm not gonna bring in surgical.
Yeah.
And it's counterintuitive.
And it definitely works well in this scenario with Death and Taxes because they have a lot of like the Stoneforge Caldra package that by itself becomes a one-turn kill basically post Doomsday Resolution. So even if you do just get the shuffle on the deck, that's enough where that one-turn kill becomes live.
I've had it happen. It's very, very, very salt-inducing, as the kids say.
Yeah. So we're on to match number 3.
This is a beautiful hand for a blue control deck.
Yeah. So this hand,
a little scary.
It's very fair. This is a very fair hand.
A little scarier, but on the play, I guess you can do those. Yeah, I like doing that. We don't have the delve spells in Legacy, so I'm more hasty to cycle my street rates in Vintage. But I like seeing what you have there and maybe doing that. Snow covered island. Oh, my gut always says sneak and show.
I always think Dirtly control deck.
For some reason, I don't know if you can hear my cat running around, but she sounds like a goddamn horse. She cannot run like a cat. I adore the dumb little thing.
Okay.
Oh god, you just love drawing with Dark Patrol.
Yeah, we just draw it like we.
Now let me draw not another one at all. Ooh,
and we've got a fun choice here. So what we can do is just jam.
What cards did you put back?
I put back. It was another petal and another ritual.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So we go for it. We've got Days plus Force back up, and the exiled Shark Typhoon.
But if in this case, if you were to balance your Watery Grave, your Death Shadow could be much bigger.
Yeah, but we already talked about how I don't understand combat maths, so
yes,
this is part of that.
13 minus, oh god, negative. Yeah, this just seems like a clean old, let me draw a bunch of stuffs and jam Oracle.
Yeah, so against Dirtly Blue control, the pile is almost always the same, which is Oracle, Cavern, Basic Island, and then 2 cyclers. 1 or 2 cyclers. Sometimes Pact comes in if I'm debating whether they're green or not. It's a little bit tricky nowadays because that Jeskai Days Undoing deck is floating around.
Yeah, that thing's a silly pile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect this. These are the hardest kind of piles for me to build in Legacy because, again, so much Vintage. I'm just like, I'm going to untap and draw Ancestral Recall and draw the rest of my deck.
Man,
what do you
I'd
mean
love to be able to draw Ancestral Recall. Why isn't that in my deck?
2 turns? You gotta be freaking kidding me. That's so wrong. Oh gosh, 2 turns.
So here we do change it up a little bit. So normally I would put a Basic Island in my deck in case of weird, like, I don't know, any shenanigans. Like Basic Island, it makes blue. It's unaffected by whatever. But because I've got this Underground Sea, as I very helpfully highlight, plus this Lotus Petal in play, I'm pretty confident that between that and the 2 lands in my deck, I can retain blue.
Yeah. I mean, I think the island over the Underground Sea is probably better, but yeah, it's not wrong. Well, it is wrong, but it's not. And now we play the waiting game. But yeah, exactly. Like, what are they gonna do? Like, not much. Worst case scenario, they play 3-mana Teferi, and you're like, eh.
I mean, even 3-mana Teferi, at the point where they've spent their entire turn casting that, they've got no interaction left.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Volcanic Island was an interesting touch.
Ooh.
And end of turn Hull Breacher.
Yeah, you can.
So there is some argument to maybe just dazing this, but in all actuality, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like.
So this only gets punished if they have exactly removal for Petal plus Wasteland for Underground Sea.
Yeah. Yeah, because what like, yeah, they could nurse it. You don't care. You're not drawing anymore. Sure, they could have double force now, but they don't.
Yeah, and we've still got plenty of life where we can receive this Hull Breacher hit and cast Force at Will.
Yeah, we got all that stuff. It's good. Wizard. Oh God, you're one of those people.
I've always been a wizard advocate.
Oh, gosh,
never
no.
Merfolk.
Oh God, I'm a Merfolk player, 100%. Doomsday is the best Merfolk deck.
Okay, so we're against the Jeskai Days Undoing deck. We can tell because they're Jeskai and they have all these weird cards that for some reason stop us drawing cards, which is very rude.
3-mana cards, all over the rage.
So what's fun here is I I board in my Red Splash, but I almost forget to board in my Volk.
Man, you have pedals.
There we go.
Okay, yeah. Do I respect this?
So I probably think
Pact
should probably come out. Duress should come in.
Yeah. I actually, maybe I'm a little. I don't hate Massacre.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't hate Massacre because they basically just play with the X2s, right? I mean, it's mostly Hull Breacher, but like sometimes they do have. I've run into weirdos in this deck playing Meddling Mage, and
yeah.
actually, you know what also comes out? I've seen, I don't know, especially we don't see more of is Lavinia. Some people do jam Lavinia in these decks because
I'm a big fan of Lavinia.
Lavinia is a dirty fucking card.
Especially in Vintage.
Oh God! I mean, like my friend, he doesn't anymore, but he played with a Lavinia playmat, and.
Okay,
and,
so have a quick look at this as we zoom it open. So we kept a really nice 7. It had a bit of mana, it had Ritual Doomsday, it had some protection in Thoughtseize, and then we drew the Force off the top. So there is some, who maybe would advocate going Ritual Doomsday turn 1 and just hoping Force is good enough. Now, I have been punished way too many times by Flusterstorm to do that. As much as I'd like, so that's why I led with Thoughtseize, and we see that their hand is. I'm not sure they should have kept this, to be honest.
Look, I was just playing Pioneer, and I did a turn 1 Thoughtseize, and their hand was the MDFC counterspell land, and six lands. So I don't know what people are teaching our control players to keep these days, but yeah, I've seen some weird shit recently when it comes to control players. But getting back to this game, gosh, I think I take Narset.
Okay.
I think I take Narset, but you probably take Teferi. My guess is.
I can't remember, to be honest, so we'll find out. I think I would take Teferi because.
Yeah. See, I would take Narset because my thought process is if Teferi resolves, they get if they resolve Teferi, they get 1 blind card, and my interaction is screwed up, but like I can actually still draw. Narset though, if they hit Narset, if Narset resolves, then we have the problem of they get a pick of the top 4 cards twice, and if they hit a Breacher or a Days Undoing, we're in big trouble. So that's why my gut is I really want Narset out of the game. I mean, okay, clearly, yeah, they just had a bad hand and it didn't get better. But yeah, I would take Narset just for those things. I mean, but again, Vintage, she's restricted in Vintage for a very good reason. It's a very powerful card. Very scared of it. That would be my gut instinct to take that over the Teferi.
No, I think that makes plenty of sense. So, round 4. And look at this hand.
Daddy almost like.
And I'm just going to give some context. I think I was playing this league quite late at night.
Did you have a few drinky poos?
I did not, no. I was very good, but it was after a full work day, so I was a little bit tired. And this hand casts turn 1 Doomsday.
Sure does.
It's not the cleanest Doomsday, but it's turn 1 Doomsday. And to be honest, at this point, I just wanted the league to sort of run its course. I know you can sort of, leave it and go back later, but when I sort of record, I prefer to do it in just one big sweep.
Exactly.
And our opponent just F6s. So.
And you're like, well, all right then. If you insist.
Who am I to refuse such courtesy?
Sure.
So there are very few decks in Legacy these days where this works. So we kind of have to guess what they might be playing.
Yeah, it's scary for sure.
So I was just like, is it oops? Am I just dead to oops? So that's why I put the Force of Will on top.
Yeah, I think I respect this a lot. Just like, yeah.
If it's oops, we put the Force on top and hope we don't die turn 1 and can defend ourselves turn 2. If it's a blue deck that just drew no interaction, we've got Cavern in there. If it's an aggro deck, maybe we have enough time. But
yeah, turn 1 Blood Moon is the only. That's a scary thing.
Yeah, if it's like Chalice on, just a Chalice deck or a Blood Moon deck, maybe we're just dead. Like Trinisphere as well.
Yeah, little Trinisphere.
Although fun, no, we would just die to that. I was about to say fun thing about Trinisphere, but then I was going to combine it with Blood Moon. So we see Badlands, and at first I'm like, okay, it's Reanimator, and then they drop the Ether Vial, and it's the boys.
I'm sorry. What's going on here? I don't
it's
think
the
I know
boys.
this deck at all.
It's Goblins.
Oh, all right. That's a
good old-fashioned Goblins.
I forgot that was a deck.
Yeah. You gotta respect the Gobbos. So they've gone turn 1 Ether Vial, which means this Force of Will plan is terrible. However, we're playing around this wasteland perfectly.
Beautiful. I mean, probably okay.
So I'm basically assuming I'm dead here because I think they'll probably just throw Lackey down off Vial. So that's why I'm casting Preordain here. So we're fetching the island. We're casting Preordain so we can get 1 closer to the deck. And we're just setting up so that we can cast Oracle next turn and hope to win.
Right. I mean, that makes sense. That does make sense.
Yeah, because this force is a dead card now.
Yeah.
And we fade the Lackey somehow.
Goodness gracious.
So I'm like, okay, what could kill me here? So they could play the guy that gives haste, which they don't. So they could play the guy that gives haste and then violin Pile Driver, right? And that would do it, because that would be 2, 3, 4... would that go to 6? Is Pile Driver plus 2 per goblin attacking, right? So maybe that is 8?
Yeah. 2. That's not enough though, right? Pile Driver? I don't think so.
Because War Chief is a 2/2, Pile Driver is a 2/1, or is it a 1/1?
Goblin Pile Driver is a 1/2.
It's a 1/2? Okay, so that would be 1 off lethal then.
Yeah, right? Because then you'd be attacking 2 and...
Yeah. Yeah, so they don't
that
have...
would only be 5.
Is it +1 per attacking?
It's +2 for other attacking goblins. It doesn't pump itself.
Other attacking goblins, right.
Yeah,
okay.
So you'll be fine.
But yeah, we managed to win that one. They have Matron, they find Muxus, and it's a turn too late. So the Preordain definitely helped us there.
Yeah.
And here... So Goblins is interesting, because it's like Death and Taxes, but they can run Red Elemental Blast. So you have to keep Cavern in. You can't really bring in Massacre, so you've only got Chain as your one tool extra against them. Duress is not great. The extra Oracle is probably good.
I like it.
And they don't tend to play Chalice, they don't play Deafening Silence. I don't think they play Discard, because the black is just for Munitions Expert and Sling Gang, Lieutenant, and sometimes that one that like extracts 3 cards from you.
Oh yeah, the oh gosh, the bug me next.
Yes, that one.
Oh gosh, what is like not worm? Oh, it's wormy. Actually, the funny thing is you're saying about Red Elemental last time. Actually, Death in Texas is doing that now, so watch out.
Okay.
Especially the 80 card Yorian versions. Yeah, they're doing a good old red splash, good old plateau deck. It's become. So now we can respect Death in Texas even more because it's a fucking plateau deck.
Yeah. So I'm debating here whether I need Force of Negation as well. I don't think so. So we'll jump ahead. And easy 7 to ship away. 6 also not great. I like the 5.
Erik squad. Oh my gosh! Thank you, Brain. I'm very glad that of all the things I've done with my life, I can remember that there's a card in Magic the Gathering called Earwig Squad.
Earwig Squad, that's the one. Thank you. So yeah, we've got turn 1 Personal Tutor, turn 2 Ritual Doomsday on a Malta 4.
And you can even protect yourself against Wasteland.
Yep.
Ooh. Look at that.
Yeah, actually, like, Oracle here is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Reb, however, not great.
Well, you know what happens.
And our opponent is quite correct, I think, in making that play, because we're so low on cards that...
Exactly. Ooh, the Wasteland. Yeah, I would have... My scared ass would have gone for the basic island there.
No. We ain't here to respect Wasteland.
I respect your choices there, but yeah, I definitely, with only 4 cards in hand and 2 fetches, I would go for a basic.
Now this is an interesting creature that I haven't seen in a long time, and it does have some very relevant text on it, so make sure to highlight that. So this card can mess with our Doomsday pile, it seems. So maybe I should add it to the list of interesting interactions on the wiki.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I read that, but I have to read that again. Because you could goad. I love goading.
You can goad a creature, or they can basically exile a card from your deck and cast it.
So it's Ragavan.
Yeah, it's Ragavan at home in the Warrens. Okay, and we're basically just spinning our wheels as quickly as possible to try and find the Doomsday, because if we find Doomsday, then we can cast it and try and win. And what's nice is this Grenzo does help us clear the top of our deck post Brainstorm. So despite the fact that we're brainstorming inefficiently, we get benefits.
That's the normal core I've been lacking.
But they don't attack. Very disappointed. I thought they might have misclicked, but actually that might be on purpose because we had Brainstorm locked.
Smarter than the average bear. E? E indeed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but
I can't argue with E. It comes right after A B C D E.
So I probably shouldn't have fetched there. I think I should have just let them hit me. But this lackey is probably going to kill us. Because...
No, Goblin Lackey doing crazy things? What does that happen?
Yeah, and especially as we give them a brainstorm they can cast.
Oof.
So what this means is they can brainstorm and then resolve their lackey trigger.
That's dirty.
That's just good deck building. Yeah, so definitely should have waited on that fetch before going for it.
We already have Ragavan. We have Ragavan Legacy. Come on. It's a creature you control, not a goblin. So that's actually kind of wild.
Hmm.
You would think it would be a goblin.
Well, it came from one of the conspiracy sets, right? So.
Ah, yes. Oh, this is ugly. Quick.
Yeah. So we're not quite dead because we could still draw a brainstorm. We could still draw an Ideas Unbound. So we do have a couple of outs that let us get through this, but they are certainly within the realms of magical Christmas land.
And the tone of your voice tells me we're gonna die. Hello.
Yeah. So it's not too bad. I think it went better than it should have for a multi-4.
Yeah, it's true. But you gotta push them basics. What's wrong with him? My cat just get him. She just meowed and attacked his foot. Cats are silly. I love them.
Okay. Oop.
What's that?
So, on the play for game 3.
Go away.
Yeah, this is the quick old mulligan, and this is perfect. This has turn 1 Doomsday, and some other things as well. So we throw away Personal Tutor because I do not see a world in which this Doomsday is not resolving.
Right.
Because we're not casting anything before, so Mindbreak Trap doesn't come into play. Goblins, as far as I know, don't splash Force of Will plus blue cards.
It's a shame you didn't live on the edge by tempting with a LED first, but I respect playing smart.
So this, I'm actually quite proud of this pile, as I kind of came up with it. So I don't often utilize like a fair LED or utilize an LED in the way it should, but in this case we've got Preordain LED, we've got a Misty Rainforest, so even if they wasteland us, we have access to triple blue, right? And if they don't wasteland us, then we can utilize a Thoughtseize to basically check for things like Pyroblast.
Mm-hmm. That's a beaut.
And because of how much mana we get off LED, plus we've got this Preordain, plus how Ponder works, the number of cards we'll have left and everything, it means that we can basically build a not quite perfect pile, but a pile that wins through Pyroblast by utilizing cantrips.
So delightful.
And then we offer up the LED to a Mindbreak Trap. Which, funnily enough, if they had Mindbreak Trap on LED plus Wasteland, we'd just lose here.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a combination I'm willing to play around.
Yeah, I never heard of that Mindbreak Trap card. are they thinking? They have 8 cards in hand. It's Calling Tarn. Oh, okay, they're on dull for now. Okay, I see what happened.
Yeah, so they have Lackey.
Okay, yeah. They're very sad, I'm sure.
So we draw Thoughtseize, and I Thoughtseize them just in case, because, you know, who knows what they're running.
Exactly, it's Goblins.
And they do have the Mindbreak Trap.
Hey, wow.
So
Well, let's pretend they just drew it.
yeah. So we fetch, get the island, and then Preordain lets us see all 3 cards in some form. So we can, even though we've shuffled with the land, we've got perfect information of our deck.
Oh, but you didn't perfect spend all your mana.
I know. Well, you need to play around the days, right?
Yeah, exactly. You played around the days. Gosh darn it, you beat me to the bad joke.
And that gives us a very nice library of Ponder. Very satisfying library.
It is a deck to ponder.
Right, so final game of the league. This time I remember to check how many cards there are on.
Oh, 80.
We see 80, so it is likely to be another Death and Taxes list in my mind. There you go. There's me carefully highlighting the fact I've looked.
I'm smart. I can count and read numbers.
Yeah. And we managed to win the die roll, which is really good for us. So this, unless something goes awry or they're sort of like a weird blue pile, should be relatively straightforward. As long as the hands that we get, you know, behave themselves properly.
Let's get them beautiful beans. Come on, turn 1 Doomsday. Oh, I hate these kind of hands.
Yeah, because that hand is good. It's a good hand, just not against Death and Taxes.
Yeah. They're the kind of playable hands that I just don't want to send back. But
yeah.
I know I should, and sometimes I don't. And especially in paper where I get lazy. I'm like, I don't want to shuffle again. This is playable. I'll just keep it, right?
So we keep the 6 because it's got Dark Ritual in, and we have 7 copies of Doomsday on our deck. So we're more than likely to find what we need, especially off Brainstorm Ponder plus Fetch. And they don't have any main deck interaction turn 1, except for Wasteland.
I think Wasteland is turn 1. That's not the worst thing, because they're not doing anything else.
So basically we just want to deploy cantrips effectively.
Just get there, get in there, get every single card. Oh, I see you trying to play that other land again.
Well, sometimes I can't remember, so I just click lands just in case.
Don't worry, that's not my fault. I didn't play an extra land. Magic Online let me play it. Oof, this is just like. Makes me remember my days of Ant, of just like, alright, let's find anything. Nope, okay, never mind.
Yeah, so we've had, what, one draw step, 3 cards of Brainstorm, the cards of Preordain, and the cards of Ponder plus Shuffle so far as one scene. So, statistically, we probably should have found a Personal Tutor or a Doomsday by now.
And yet.
Yeah, that's how variance works.
It sure does.
Okay, so we do respect the Stoneforge because Caldra just kills us, and they've got a Vial out, so there's no better targets really.
No, and I mean next turn they can get them next turn. Oh goodness gracious! Yeah, this is cycling time. Oof, and the days just get worse and worse. All right, this is. I too would have the whole just goddamn it, get lands out of my deck. I don't want to see anything.
It's also I don't want to be in the position, and there we go. There's the Personal Tutor. So I'm just hoping here that it's quick enough because it's now Death and Taxes turn 3, and in all rights I'm going to be dead soon because there's a lot of cards that they could get that just punish me.
Here comes the end turn mom.
Have you watched this
Damn,
before?
I'm good. Damn, I'm good. It's like I've lost the stupid games of Death and Taxes with them beating me with Mother of the Rooms. I can't draw a friggin' piece of action. Ooh, me complain? Oh, that's a
big oof. So
that hurts you.
Yeah, it's not great. That gets through our Doomsday.
And it's a forced search. Oh god.
Yep, it's not a May, unlike Ghost Quarter. Field of Ruin is you have to do it.
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts deep in the colon. Yep, and here come the Mother of Runes beats. God. See, if this was me, I'd be cursing so hard right now. God.
I was just intrigued because I before this evening I hadn't seen a single Field of Ruin in years, in any format, and suddenly I was kind of faced with multiple of them in one night. I was like, oh my god. And I think I had seen one from a standstill player in the practice room, and so I was just getting reacquainted with Modo as well.
Right. Choo, here comes mommy.
Yeah, so we're in an awkward spot here because their Flicker Wisp is lethal, pretty much, if we have to Doomsday pass the turn. And with us drawing pretty much lands here,
God.
It's not looking good.
Why is the 80 card deck without cantrips drawing better? Oh, it hurts the soul. I know I'm supposed to respect Death and Taxes, but I just can't. Oh, this hurts to watch.
Yeah, so we've pretty much lost this game here.
You're just waiting. Just waiting. Come on, play that Flicker Wisp. You know.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't, to be honest.
Oh.
Because I know about it, and it's not like I run removal for their creatures.
Are they hard casting it? What's going on here? Oh, wait, what?
They put Yorion in their hand.
They just gave you an extra turn.
So
Were they hoping to give Flicker Wisp value?
I have no idea.
Guess that must be what it was. They must be like, all right, well, like I want to value Flicker Wisp. Like they want to Flicker Wisp. Yeah, they wanted to Flicker Wisp on your Oracle, right?
Possibly, but that doesn't help.
If you have one card that jumping, I don't know. It's just so bizarre that like, are they not doing it now either? Is it another turn of them not doing it?
Yeah, and the fact that they haven't Flicker Wisp me yet is the only reason I haven't conceded here.
That has to be what. That has to be. Their plan was like, maybe you go to less than 0 card. Yeah, less than 0 cards. Negative cards. Like maybe you have not a perfect 0 pile and then they can Flicker Wisp you. Because that's the only thing. That's so weird. That is so bizarre. Like what value were they? I mean, Mom's killing you. Like that's she is slapping you hard. Like that is not good. But that's such a bizarre little thing. I'm gonna see you win this game or something. I'm like, whoa, what happened? Or
So we basically just want to draw like a brainstorm or an Ideas Unbound again here.
Draw a brainstorm and just woof. I guess. All right. You did that. Congratulations. You waited a couple turns to cut down 1 mana. All right.
Okay, so we get the land, the ponder even finally. We see stone gold nothing, and then the tease. We get the tease at the end. So they've got 5 power down on board. That puts us effectively dead because we can't cast Doomsday. So...
I would have quit before I even shuffled my deck off of Ponder. I would be like, statistically, this deck hates me too much to let this happen any other way. Yeah, no, I get that, but gosh, oh my, that was just oof. Yeah.
It's fine. I've had much worse, especially against like some of the blue control piles. I've had games where I've literally seen half my deck, I think, over like a turn, and I just need. No, actually, the worst ones are not the ones where I need Doomsday. It's the ones where I have Ritual Doomsday, and I just need a cantrip effect. Any card that lets me draw a card because I have too low life to pass the turn, but enough life where I've got a number of turns to be able to do it. And just going draw go on every petal, land, ritual, and force that you have.
Sometimes you just shuffle. Oof, it hurts the soul. But yeah, you're basically running back the same plan for different decks.
Yeah, I mean, sense. I might have changed it a little bit because, as I've said in these videos before, I'm really bad at being consistent with my sideboarding.
So you're consistent with your inconsistency.
Yeah, very much so. The only matchup that I have a consistent sideboard plan for is Delver.
Yeah, I think that's the only consistent deck ever guaranteed to place. Yeah, actually no. I think last time you did not do triple force negation. I think it was only one or two. That actually kind of sticks out to me right now. Other than that, yeah, no. That's what you do. Those are the cards you want.
Okay, so here we go. So I might have skipped through mulligans. I can't remember what the 7 was, but obviously it wasn't good enough. And the 6 is not great, but the 6 has Doomsday and 2/3 of the mana needed to cast it.
Yeah, that's tempting. That sure is tempting.
And
I did watch this. I'm sorry. I was in your house last night. I don't know if you noticed.
So yeah, we just jam, and this is a same turn kill that only gets punished by Archive Trap and Mindbreak Trap.
Don't know. Don't care.
And because I've seen one Mindbreak Trap in the league already today, and I have had a D&T player Archive Trap me before, I think I do play around it by just popping a force on top.
Oh, you even... Look at you, smart boy, getting that water grave this time.
Yes. You can see there's always a lot of bias in my leagues where whatever happens earlier in the league very much affects like my decision making later on.
Look at you learning. I'm so proud of you.
I know there's definitely plenty of pilots out there who would just be screaming at me, just go for the win.
Yeah, but, you know, they don't know the pain you just went through. You lost a surgical on Underground Sea. It's sad.
And actually, just surgical by itself is another reason to not go for it. Because
this is true.
Surgical shuffling the deck in response to the Street Race cycle with LED, that can be...
Ugh. Disastrous. Like snow-covered island or regular plains? Oh, regular plains. Yeah, you're gonna lose if you play regular plains. You gotta play snow-covered plains if you want to beat.
They were splitting their lands. They had both in. You gotta play around that predict.
Yes, Marcus.
Yep.
Oh, we.
So here, I can't think of anything that punishes us from this point on.
Oh, looks delightfully good to me. The sweet old take your time and win. Sorry, mommy.
And what's nice here is... Oh. I was about to say we could cast Brainstorm to get rid of the ability to force and then just Brainstorm and get our deck down to 0 cards. But I didn't do that. I'm not sure why. I probably should have. Because that then allows us to Brainstorm plus use the fetch to 0 our deck.
Yeah.
And puts that out to Pyroblast.
Yeah, because we have Petal, so that, yeah, it's really a awkward place for them because they just don't have much they can do with only land drops. This ain't Vintage. They ain't playing Moxes. So their options are much slimmer. And yeah, you just it's clean. But go ahead. Okay. Yeah. Force Splashes me. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah. Cast that Solitude.
Yeah, and again, like a lot of the stress there could have been got rid of by just jamming that turn 1 kill that we represented.
Yeah, but you have no idea what those 6 cards were, so. And they didn't miss a land drop, but still, it's most likely they got something nasty in there. So you get there.
Yep,
that's what you want to do is get there.
Okay, so game 3. Just run it back.
It's death taxes. I'm not supposed to think that much. If my opponent doesn't want to think, why should I?
Yeah.
Hey yo.
And what's fun? So I didn't really notice at the time, and I don't really look at like clocks, but I didn't realize that I had more clock than them.
Oh wow, yeah, you do. Well, you know the clock trick, right?
I do not know the clock trick.
If you click on the clock, you can put in any numbers you want.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. I think you can type anything.
Yeah, it's just
weird
a free text field.
Yeah, it's the weirdest bug. Like it'll fix itself and doesn't change anything. But like, I'm amazed that Magic Online works. It's an amazing piece of software.
So, what do you think about this 7?
God, this one makes me glad I play Cabal Ritual.
Yeah.
Gosh, this is is there a word for that sensation when you get when you're like really nervous and like you feel like you have to pee because you're nervous, but you don't really have to pee, but you're just like, oh god, I'm gonna pee, I'm so nervous. That's what this hand gives me the feeling of. Because game 3 match, this is what last match of the league, game 3 against fucking Death and God motherfucking Taxes, where I'm like, I don't want to lose this. Because, like, I feel silly when I lose to Death and Taxes. I don't know why. Maybe it's just personal bias or something. But, like, oh, God, this hand is just like, I shouldn't keep it. No, I'm going to send it back. But, like, this is one of those hands that ruins Magic for me. Because just, like, I know I shouldn't keep it. But I know that 80% of the time it works. 90% of the time, no. What I'm trying to say is, like, my gut instinct is when I mulligan a hand like this, I'm going to have to mulligan to 5 just because the 6 is going to be completely unplayable.
Yeah. So the hand is fine. Like, it's got Force, it's got Chain, it's got 2/3 of the mana to cast Doomsday, and it's got Doomsday, right? Yeah. So it's got the pieces we need. The problem comes from it doesn't cast Doomsday turn 1 unless we draw that Ritual or Petal.
Yeah, and you don't even have a cantrip. You don't have a cantrip.
So there's the turn 1 play is probably going to be like Strand Petal Go.
Yeah, it's so, oh god, it hurts. It's so scary for me. I hate, these are the kind of hands that ruin my day.
Yeah. So I do in fact elect to keep it. Because honestly, I'm okay with Strand Petal Go.
Yeah, it's just I'm worried about the top of that deck.
Yeah, like if they go like turn 1 Deafening Silence, we can turn 1 like end of turn Chain of Vapor.
Yeah, that's true. That ponder is very, very, very nice. That ponder would make me feel a lot better.
Yeah.
And then passing makes me feel a lot better as well.
And
Oh God! Oh.
we just are good at magic, I guess. So
it
our deck obviously feels suitably chastised for what was it, game 1?
Yeah.
And gives us everything we need.
So I'm assuming you're gonna go for that classic landy file.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you got Force of Will. Like, what do you care about at this point? You just care about you care about Chigi Shine.
So we care about it's well. What do we care about? We care about Port. We care about
Wasteland and
Wasteland. We care about Field of Ruin.
And Kaldi.
Kaldi we don't care about because we can just bounce the germ.
Right, yeah.
Or Kaldi itself. Because obviously
you can Force of Will stuff. So like
yeah.
So yeah, it's almost just mana denial you're worried about here, right? It's like, yeah, this is very... Because like that Personal Tutor is literally lined up in your hand behind the Force of Will to counter something.
Yep.
Yeah, Aether Vial, go ahead. Yeah, you do you with the Aether Vials. Are they gonna surgical you? Like what's... Yeah, this doesn't seem great for them. It makes me wonder what they're... What the heck do they have? 'Cause I don't know if a... Sorry about that. My fan just went wild. Did you hear that?
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So
wow.
they drop some 1-drops. They've got this vial ticking along, which is going to be slow. So we basically only care about what their land is here, and even then we don't care too much because
you played around it.
Yeah, we've got the basic in hand, but like.
Oh right. Okay, yeah, alright. Yeah, is it even possible to do?
So I do actually elect to use this mana.
Yeah, Reaper on the vial?
Yep.
Yeah, bounce the vial.
So this basically delays, so even if they replay their vial in main 2, it means that whatever they're casting is open to my force.
Yep.
And I don't really care about a vial getting up to 2 in 2 turns.
Not at all. Oh, here comes Mother Runes number 3.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
sure.
Our opponent has sideboard changed into Cleric Tribal.
Okay, yeah, I respect that. Huh. Oh wait, did they just have unfortunate draws? What the heck? I'm so confused. I'm so confused. You're gonna fetch here, right?
So we fetch here because we've got 2 oracles in the deck, and if we draw either oracle, we can go for it here.
And you drop Fiddle.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, I'm good. Why am I so good at this?
But thankfully, again, like our opponent doesn't have any aggression, so even if we have to force, I don't know, like a Torpor Orb, for example, and even if they have a million Mother of Runes, we still have the ability to cast Oracle.
Please play Mother of Runes number 4. If they don't, I'm gonna be so sad.
I am surprised they didn't play the Aether Vial last turn.
Yeah, holding up Sword Slashers?
They could be holding up swords, yeah.
That's the only thing I can think. 2 cards in hand. Double swords is bad news for you, that's about it. They ain't got a port. Up, surgical. Up your surgical. No, okay.
Surgical on shuffle my 2 oracles?
They don't know what you're... But yeah.
Okay. So there's the swords. And we have to force this because they have 3 power in play. And
Yep. Do they have another swords?
Nope.
Oh god, I was so sad for a second there. I
There we
really
go.
thought you were gonna. So that was a nice 4-1.
4-1, yeah, not too bad.
Beautiful.
Could be better, could
And
be worse.
What was the last two?
The loss was to the Death and Taxes deck due to the surgical, the exact alignment of surgical and underground sea plus Rishtend Port plus Wasteland.
That's right. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Go on, hey yo. I mean, like, as you can see, I was completely correct because days did not matter once in this league, right? Did it? I don't think so.
I don't think it did. No.
Okay, see, and I use my psychic abilities to call the play so many times. So you can see why I'm so smart, so full of myself. Is that the right word? No. Yeah, no. That was a delightful little league there. But no, jokes aside, that like if watching that league, like that's kind of why I'm out on days, because like, yeah, what did you do with days? Most of the time you shuffled it back, you pitched it to Force of Will, or it sat in your hand, you were like,
yeah.
well,
it snagged that Stoneforge once on the second D&T game, the one where we couldn't find the Doomsday.
Okay, yeah, and so that mattered a lot, right?
Yeah.
I kid, but do I? Yeah, so like I'm really off on days right now, and just because, like, yeah, Doomsday is... We want to be casting Doomsday, and our opponents are doing so many things where, like, yes, Ragavan's gone, but, like, I think Ragavan was a good lesson that days is not a necessity for Doomsday. We can play it, and we don't get hurt for playing it. It does very good things many, many times, but there's lots of matchups where it just gets dragged a little bit too long, and days' value just goes down more and more with each passing moment. So yeah, I mean, I understand Daze is a really powerful card. It's why Delver is so good, but we're not Delver, and I think Daze's builds have their spot in Legacy right now as far as Doomsday is concerned.
Cool. Right. Any final thoughts or words you want to say on the deck in general?
No, I think except for the things we talked about at the first that I don't personally like about this build. It does exactly what we say we want to do. We want to respect nothing and just cast some fucking Doomsdays and put oracles into play and win the game. So you did that job. 4-1. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. So do you have any socials you want to promote? I know you've obviously got a Twitch channel that you run, you've got your YouTube channel that you run, I think you've got Twitter, and you've got the Oracles of the Coast site. So do you want to just throw those out there? And all of them will be available in the link below to check out. And
one other thing, if you are a video game player, gosh, I can't imagine someone that plays Magic the Gathering also plays video games. Oof, that seems weird. But I run a yearly charity event called the Final Fantasy V 4-Job Fiesta. People play Final Fantasy V. You get assigned 4 of the 20 jobs, and you can only use those 4 jobs to beat the game. And it's a delightful little event that we do every single year, and we've raised thousands upon thousands of dollars for charities, including Child's Play and other things like that. And it's can be found at 4jobfiesta.com. And if you want to play something other than Magic the Gathering, I don't know why you would, but sometimes you want to. Final Fantasy V is one of my favorite games, and so I just do that charity event every single year. It starts in the middle of June, but you can look at 4jobfiesta.com to get a feel for what the thing is.
Nice one. Well, thank you very much. As usual, the background music has been provided by the delightful Idle Ruix, Bristol-based content creator for music. So do check out his Bandcamp in the link below as well. But otherwise, Erik, thank you very much for being on here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. It has been delightful.
And everyone at home, stay safe, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye-bye.